and then I'll tell you why. I'll bring the geometry in the second half of today's notes. So the first thing, you guys last year had a formula you used to find slope. Formula to find slope. I'm not going to ask if you remember or not. Let's just write it down right away. Change in y over change in x. Sound familiar a little bit? Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. There's your slope formula. And just so we're all clear on what the y's and the x's are, and you don't have to copy this part down, but like, hey, I got 3, 6, and I got negative 2, 5. Find the slope between those two. So you got your x coordinates to plug in, you got your y coordinates to plug in. All right. Sometimes I use this. Sometimes I'll use this formula. I don't know if they used it much last year in Algebra 1. Rise over run. Okay, so I guess they did. Yep, rise over run. So I'm going to use, sometimes I use that one. Real quick, these 4 diagrams here, I like just to focus on these 2 right there. What type of line am I saying as a zero slope? Don't tell me a straight line, they're all straight. What type of line is that going left to right? Horizontal, yeah. So any horizontal line has a slope equal to the number 0, all right? The number 0 versus the other one there to the right going up and down, that's a vertical line. We say that has undefined or no slope. There is no slope to it, all right? Again, horizontal has a numbered slope, it's 0. Slope is the number 0 versus the vertical line, undefined or no slope, All right, let's get into probably what you had last year for Algebra 1. We're going to write the equations of lines here. Equations of lines. That's today's big topic. Write the equations of lines. First type, slope-intercept form. Familiar last year? Y equals, I asked your Algebra 1 teacher, so I don't care if you tell me yes or no if it's familiar. I asked them yesterday, and they said you did it. So y equals mx plus b. M is the slope. B is what we call the y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis. I'm also going to, I didn't write it down in your notes, but I'd like you to, because you did this last year, and I want you to have options. I do want you to have options. You also wrote an equation of lines in what's called point slope form. And here's point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And in most problems we do, I'm going to allow you to leave it in either form. All right, depending on what's the best method for you. All right, whether it be y equals mx plus b or this point slope form. And just a reminder over here, x1 and y1, you're going to plug in a point that's on the line already, and then m's your slope. Well, Mr., what about the other ones there, huh? What about x and the y? You didn't tell me what those meant. They just say x and y. Okay, the only thing I plug in for are x1, y1, and your slope. So either form, I don't care which one you use. Okay, whatever's best for you. And you'll find out as we do these problems, one form over the other would work probably depending on what information they give me. All right, let's jump right into it. Y equals 4x plus 2. I need the slope and the y-intercept before we graph it. Slope and y-intercept. Notice what form it's in. Slope-intercept form. So the slope's already there and the y-intercept's already there. All right, here we go. Let's start this off. Little review from last year. Here we go. Hayden, what's the slope up there? What's in place of m, the slope? 4, yep. So I got a 4 there. There's the slope. And how about the y-intercept? What's in place of the b up there? The b of t? 2. All right, everyone's good. Slope of 4, y-intercept of 2. I am going to ask you to graph this without using your calculator because I don't have time for that. Anybody remember what point you graphed first from last year? The y-intercept. Good. So the y-intercept is 2. But wait, I got two 2's on here. Which one do I do? The y-axis, because it's the y-intercept, right? So I graph 2 on the y-axis. There's my first point on the line. And then from here, how can I get at least one? I need at least one more point. Now I use the slope, and remember, rise over run. So I'm going to go from 2, I'm going to go up how many? Going to go up 4, rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I know there's nothing over it, but there's really a what there? A 1, so I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do I go, right or left? Right 1. Yep, it was negative, I go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. If you want another point, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, but you only need 2 to graph a line. And I don't, you don't worry about getting your straight edge out. Just freehand this bad boy. Boom. There you go. There's my line. Not bad, not bad. Nice and easy. I had everything nicely set up for you. Oh, look at 2. That is not something I'm used to. If I called on somebody to get the slope right now, they'd probably be like, I have no idea, and you'd be correct. All right, you're not going to tell me it's -6 because it's right with the x. No. We got to make it into y equals mx plus b form. So you need to help me get the y all by itself before you tell me what the slope and the y-intercept is up here. All right, everyone good? This is not in slope-intercept form, so you cannot tell me the slope is -6 because it's just with the x. You need to get it into y equals form. First step to do that. How do I get the y by itself? Get in a y equals form here. Mia, what do I got to move first? This 3? Do your division last. Do your all, because I'm going to divide by 3 here at the end. Do that. That comes last. I got to add and subtract first. Subtract the 12 over. I'm trying to get y by itself. So I want to get everything over. Not yet. I want to do my division last. If I gave you this, here, let me break. Whoa, relax. If I gave you that, and I said solve for x, what are you going to do? You're not going to divide by 2? Okay. So I don't want to divide by 3, right? What do you want to do? There we go. Yep, we got it. You knew what to do all along. Add 6x. Add 6x. So what do I have here? 3y. I like to put the x first. If you want to put 12 plus 6x, whatever floats your boat, but I like to put the 6x first. Plus 12, yep. The y is still not by itself. Next step. Y is still not by itself. What do you got for me there, Juliana? Divide by 3. Yep. Everything. Hey, look over here. Everything gets divided by 3. Everything on the right side. So let's finish this. Y equals, divide everything by 3. Oh, finish this up here, Madison. 4 plus, okay, you can write it backwards on me. I got you. 2x plus 4. Good. All right, now answer it. What's the slope and the y-intercept? Give me both up here. Slope and y-intercept now. Slope and y-intercept up here. 1, 3. Jesse, slope. 2. Y-intercept. 4. Go ahead and graph it now. Go ahead and graph it. 4 on the y-axis. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Questions, comments? Okay. Now let's really get into it. Let's start writing the equations. The directions say make sure you write it in slope-intercept form. But some of these problems, I'm going to end up writing in both slope-intercept and point-slope. All right, because on the homework, you can choose whichever method. All right, so on some of these, we're going to take a look at it and be like, well, wouldn't it have been just easier to do it in point-slope, and we'll do it that way too. What am I giving you in the first one here? What am I giving you so I can decide which method is the best for me? What am I giving you here? All right, let's talk here. Jayla, what's M mean again? That's the slope, and I tell you the y-intercept. So I'm giving you the slope and the y-intercept. Probably which method is the best then? Out of these two that I've given you up here. I'm giving you the slope and the y-intercept. So what method do you think I want to do? Pretty quick here. Out of those two, what's probably the easiest? Hayden? I'm giving you the slope and the y-intercept already. Slope-intercept. You got both already. Everyone agree? You got both? So let's do it in slope-intercept form. All right, put them together. It's y. Oh, don't want that. Remember, y equals mx plus b. Y stays y, x stays x. Plug in m and b now. Shoo. Go ahead, Mia. Quick plug in. Y equals, what's your slope? 3x plus, what's your y-intercept? There you go. A lot easier than doing point slope. All right, what am I giving you in number 4 now? What am I giving you in number 4? Let's talk. Where am I going with this one? Lennon, what's the M mean? So I'm giving you the slope, and also, what's that 2, -4? A point on the line, yeah. So I'm giving you the slope and the point on the line. I'm giving you the slope and a point on the line. Which method now do you think would be the best? Where are we going there, Alex?
Point slope.
Probably point slope. All right, so let's do that. And then I want to show you, well, what if the directions say, no, you got to leave it in slope intercept? So let's do point slope first. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. There's my point slope. All right, let me help you fill it in. Where are we going with this one? Halo, ready? What's the y coordinate? -4. So everyone, y, what's going to happen over here when I plug in -4? It's going to become +4, right? Y minus the -4. Okay, keep going here with me. What's your slope? -1, x, and what's the x coordinate it goes through? -2. And there you go. That's point slope form. You can leave it like that if you want. That's point slope. All right, but hey, I don't know. Maybe the directions will say leave it in slope intercept form. Real easy. See what you just did over here? I'll rewrite it. Solve it for y now. Clean all of it up and solve it for y. You'll have it in slope intercept form. Clean it up. Now, what do I mean by clean it up? What do we got to do with that -1? Distribute it. Go ahead, distribute it for me. Take that -1 and distribute it. 2's, Izzy, distribute it. Y plus 4 equals -x plus 2. And you guys know slope intercept, it's got to be y equals. So there's one more thing we have to do here. One more thing we have to do. 13, where are we going with that one? I'll get it. Jesse, what do I still have to do?
Give y over.
Yep. How?
So -4.
-4 on both sides. You got it. There you go. There's slope intercept. There's point slope form. Just in case you're asked to do it in slope intercept, you know how to do it. Take your point slope and clean it up. Any issues there? Ooh, we got a decision to make, huh, with this last one. What method is the best? Let me talk to somebody here. Izzy, back to you. What am I giving here, Izzy, in number 5? 2 points. I don't have a 2-point form, do I? I got slope intercept, and I have point slope. Anybody feel comfortable with one over the other? Slope intercept, which I don't have either of those, versus point slope, which I have 2 points. Point slope, maybe? Because at least I have a point on the line, versus slope intercept, I don't have either of them. All right, let's go. Let's talk point slope. I have a point. It's just a matter of which one do I want to use, and one of you can pick that in a second. What don't I have, though? I don't have the slope here, do I? But how did we start off class? You have a formula to find it. So that's how we're going to start this bad boy off is, yeah, I don't have the slope, but we have a formula to find it. All right, give me the y coordinates because that's going to go on top. Y coordinates of here. Y. Sydney, y coordinates. What is it? Ooh, boy. Those are the x coordinates. Y coordinates are always second. Yes? No? Yes? 0 and -3. So we can go 0 minus a -3. Everyone comfortable if I put +3 here? Now notice how I took the 0 and the -3 first. In that order, you got to take the x's in the same order. You can't just mix and match anyone you want here. You got to take the x's in the same order you took the y's. So what's the bottom of this fraction going to look like when I subtract the x's? Am I going halo? If I took the 0 and the -3, what do I have to do first now? You got it. 5 minus 7 there. Perfect. Any issues with what I wrote up there? How I'm finding that slope? So you're saying take get the order, whatever y's you want to subtract, the order doesn't matter. But what I'm saying, if you, hey, look, if you did this, you're saying do this instead? That's fine, yeah, as long as you do on the bottom, though, 7 minus 5. We're going to get the same result right now. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care what order you subtract the y's in, as long as you subtract the x's in the same order. Good? Watch, we're going to get this. Keep doing what you're doing because we're going to get the same answer here. And that is 3 over -2. I think you would have gotten -3 over 2 there, which is the same thing. Okay, everyone got the slope? All right, let's do point slope form then. Let's do point slope. Remind you what point slope is. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You plug in for y1 and x1 and m. X and y stay x and y. All right, whoever's getting called on here has got a big class decision to make. Big class decision. Taylor, ready? Yep. You choose whatever point you want to use, P or Q. It doesn't matter.
Q.
Okay, we're using Q, everybody. If you use P, it still would have been correct. Ready? Y. What's your y coordinate on Q? -3. So what am I going to put here? Y plus 3. Good. What did we just find as the m value? -3 halves. X minus 7. Good. And I'm not going to make you do it, but if you wanted slope intercept, distribute, subtract the 3. Right? Distribute, subtract the 3 if you wanted slope intercept form. But this is good to go here. Questions? Anything there? We're good? So this is kind of a review a little bit. I'm not expecting you to remember it. Okay, I'm going to add in the geometry part now. All right, we reviewed the Algebra 1 from last year. Let me now put in the geometry part. And I heard that you did not do this, so I'm going to slow down a little. Now write an equation of a line parallel to that line and passing through -2, 5. Parallel. Okay, parallel. I do have a point, so probably what method probably would be the easiest of me? Slope intercept or point slope? Probably point slope form, right? All right. What do you have and what do you not have then? What do you have and what do you do not have here? At a point slope, what do you have and what do we do not have? Jonathan, what do we have? At a point and a slope, because I need both here. Which one do I have?
You have slope.
I do? Where?
It's in the -1x.
Oh.
Oh wait, no.
No. We don't have that. I don't have any slope, right?
Yep.
But I do have a what?
Point.
I have a point. Everyone agrees. I got the point. I don't have the slope. Here's where this parallel thing comes in. And I don't think they did this last year. Parallel? Yes or no? I don't think they have. No, right? If lines are parallel, here you go. If two lines are parallel, they have Everyone ready? The same slope. The same slope. The slopes are equal. They have the same slope. Okay, two lines are parallel, they have the same slope. So this line, 2y equals negative 1x plus 4, is going to have the same slope as my answer. So the key is, what's this slope? Negative 1? No, why is it not negative 1? What do we still need to do? Get the y by itself. How do I get the y by itself then? John, there we go. Back to you now. Redemption. Darn right. Divide everything by 2. How's that going to look on the right side? Divide everything by 2. Everything by 2. Boom, boom. Hayden, what's it going to look like? Negative 1/2 x. Yep. And then plus 2. Yep. Divide everything by 2. Good. What's the slope of this line? This line that we were given. What's the slope of this line? That's why we did all that work earlier today. What's the slope of that line? Ones, Jayla? Negative 1/2. Good. So if this line, ready? If this line has a slope of negative 1/2, so will any line parallel to it. Slopes are always equal. All right. So if this line has a slope of negative 1/2, any line parallel to it will have a slope of negative 1/2. So everyone ready for my point slope now? I always like write. You don't have to, but just like to remind everyone what point slope looks like. All right, plug it in for me now. Plug it in. Who's up here with me? Oh, there we go. Quinn, welcome. Y, what's the y coordinate it goes through? Back up top to the original 5. So I'm going to write y minus 5. What's the slope of this new line? Because it's parallel. They have the same slope. Negative 1/2. X, what's the x coordinate it goes through? So what's it going to look like in the parentheses?
X plus 2.
Plus 2. There you go. And I don't want to waste time, but everybody is comfortable. If the question said, write your final answer in slope-intercept form, you take this, distribute the negative 1/2, and add the 5 over. Okay, that's how we get slope-intercept form. Get the y by itself. All right, everyone, good. So parallel, same slope, always. Parallel, same exact slope, because now I'm going to go to perpendicular. Oh, there's a vocab word maybe some of us still don't know. Come on. Perpendicular, they're going to form a what? A right angle, right? They're going to form a right angle. Well, if two lines are perpendicular, the slopes are no longer the same. The slopes are no longer the same. Here you go. Before we attack this problem. I'm going to use that symbol. Hopefully we remember that. Two lines are perpendicular. The slopes are, anybody know this? Probably not. They're not the same, right? That's parallel. I'm going to use a term, and then I'll just tell you what the term means here. The slopes are negative reciprocals. Oh, that's a word. Negative reciprocals. And I'll describe what that means. All right, what do I mean by negative reciprocals? Here you go. Let's say the slope is negative 2/3. Any line perpendicular to it, negative reciprocal. You flip and change the sign. Flip it and change the sign. So what's the negative reciprocal for negative 2/3? That would be positive. Change the sign. Flip it, reciprocal, it would be 3/2. 1/4. The negative reciprocal for 1/4. Negative 4/1, or you can just leave it negative 4. 4/3. What's the negative reciprocal? Negative 3/4. And then I'll have one more here. 6. Negative reciprocal. Flip it and change the sign. Remember, that's over 1, really, even though we'll never be there. Negative 1/6. Okay, so that's what negative reciprocals are. All right, let's see if we can do this one. A line perpendicular to this one that goes through the point 8,6. Probably point slope again because I'm giving a point, right? So I have the point 8,6. What I don't have is the slope. Or do I? How can I use this to get the slope here? Okay, one of two ways. Some of you who are on top of your game may notice this is already in what form? This is already in point slope form, and where's the slope located? Right there. If you're that's fine. Some of you are on top of your game and you notice that. Maybe you're not on top of your game. That's fine. There's still another way, which is clean this up. Get y by itself. So if you don't notice that it's in point slope, distribute the 4, and I'm going to get y plus 3 equals 4x minus 8, right? Clean it up. Get y by itself if you don't notice it's in point slope. It's not an excuse. Move the 3 over. Y equals 4x minus 11. All right, now what's the slope? 4, right? So it doesn't matter if you noticed it here or you clean it up and got y by itself. Either way, you notice you're going to figure out the slope is 4, but not the slope I want in my answer because they're not equal when they're perpendicular. Right? Right? Everyone, yes? All right, let's see. Help me fill it in now. Boom. Jayla on fire today, huh? What's the y coordinate it goes through? 6. So y, keep going with me. Minus 6. Now, when I'm ready for the slope, I don't want 4, right? Because they're not parallel. If I change this word to parallel, yeah, I plug in 4. But it's perpendicular, so I do the negative reciprocal of 4. Negative 1/4 goes here. Everyone good? Negative 1/4. Everyone see that now? If it's parallel, I keep the slope. If it's perpendicular, I do the negative reciprocal. Let's finish this beast. X minus 8. If you need slope intercept, you clean it up, distribute the negative 1/4. Everyone good on parallel versus perpendicular? That's the big thing. Slopes are the same if they're parallel. Slopes are negative reciprocals. And then the question may come up too. Well, what if they're neither? Okay, so they're not parallel. What if I give you here? What if I give you one slope is, I'll go 2/3, and another slope is 3/2? Are they parallel? Are they parallel? No, the slopes aren't equal. Are they perpendicular? Slopes aren't negative reciprocals. Just because I flipped it doesn't mean anything. They have no relationship. All right, good. They have no relationship. They got to be equal to be parallel, and they got to be negative reciprocals to be perpendicular. Questions there? All right, one last thing, and this deals with our horizontal and vertical lines. On your graph paper right now, please draw, let's graph 5, -1 first. 5, -1 on the graph paper I put below. 5, -1. And draw a horizontal line through that, please. Draw a horizontal. Oh, boy. Anybody need help there? Horizontal line. Act like you've been there. Now I want to know what's the equation of this line. Now this is why I saved it to the end. I don't like to do point slope or slope intercept with horizontal and vertical lines, and you'll see why. I do not like to do it at all. Graph another point on that line for me. Just graph another point that's on that horizontal line. You have 5, -1 already. graph another point. Right next to that point, write that coordinate. Like for me, I'm going to write -4, -1. Write your coordinate right next to it. Let's do it one more time. Make another point on the line. And name that coordinate. Anything in common with those three coordinates? The original one we all graphed and the two you did on your own. There should be something in common and all 3 points. Take a look at them. 5, -1, which we all started with, and the 2 points you graphed. There should be something in common in all 3. The same, that's what I mean. The same in all 3 points. In your own words, what's the same about all 3 of your points? Where am I going with this one? Sydney? As what coordinate? Everyone agree? They all have -1 as the y coordinate. You got the equation already. What does he mean? The y coordinate is always equal to? There you go. The y coordinate is always equal to -1. There's the equation, y equals -1. All right, let's do it for a vertical line. Everyone graph 4, 3 for me. 4, 3. Over 4, up 3. And now draw a vertical line. Yes, Taylor?
On our sheet, it says
What's
it
it?
asks us what's the slope of the line.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. Thanks for doing that. I didn't notice we added that in. Yeah. What is the slope of, if you want to go back to the beginning of your notes, any horizontal line? Slope is 0. Yep. Slope is 0. Thank you for reminding me of that. All right, now let's go on 4, 3 and draw a vertical line through. 4, 3 vertical line. And let's do the same thing. Make another point on that vertical line and name it right next to it. Make another point on that vertical line and name it. That's wrong. And make a third point and name it. Look at all 3 points. And tell me what they all have in common. 4, 3. What do they all have in? Maybe if I could do it myself here, kids, huh? All right, I'm ready now. What do they all have in common? Shoom, going back here. Shoom, yep, not here today. Somebody else there. There we go. Halo, what do they all have in common? The x coordinate's always 4. You got your equation. X equals 4. And going back to the notes, any vertical line, what do we say the slope is? Be careful here. Undefined or no slope. I'll take either, but not 0. All right, I'll take no slope, undefined, either one. All right, but not 0. All right, and then let's finish today off here, and then you can get to the assignment on the textbook. The rules for horizontal or vertical. Let's start with the horizontal line that we had. Anytime you're asked to write an equation of a horizontal line going left and right, no slope intercept, no point slope. I don't want you to do it. It's nice and it's always y equals, and it'll be whatever number it goes across. So I'm just going to say y equals a number. What's that number going to be? Depends where it goes through the y-axis, right? Here it was -1, whatever y's they have in common. And then vertical, what do you think I'm going to write for vertical? Vertical line is always going to be x equals a number. Just depends where it goes through. Please pay attention to the directions at the bottom of the page. A couple of questions tonight ask you to graph. I do not want you to graph. Please do not graph it. Okay, please do not graph it. Get out your Chromebooks, get going. get a couple problems done before we leave.